Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, everybody. Happy Friday. Good seeing all of you. We're back again. Welcome back to Nature's First Path, right, on our YouTube site. So, as always, committed to bringing you the most up-to-date and the most current and beneficial information, right, that can set us on our path to health success. So, what we're actually talking about today is ancient healing in modern times, right? Or ancient naturopathic techniques that have been used for thousands and thousands of years, and how that can help us, right, in our world today. So one of the first things we really wanted to talk about and dispel the myth that alternative medicine is somehow new, it has no place in the world, that it doesn't work. But the reality is, alternative or naturopathic medicine goes back thousands and thousands of years. And the reasons why it has been around for thousands and thousands of years is because they work when applied right in conjunction with a full body holistic treatment. So that is what we're going to be getting into, and how I am, and this practice is approaching this, is through Unani lens, right? Unani, a medicine holistic lens, very similar to Ayurveda, but it blends qualities of Arabic, African, Greek, and even some parts of Indian holistic medicine, putting it all together. And we're looking at the balancing of the four humors. Right? And when the body is balanced, all is well. Right? When the body is balanced, all is well. So, one first thing we wanted to really get into was the comprehension of the humors, balancing the earth, cold and dry, right? Cold water, moist air, hot air, and moist all together. And all of these interplay in our body, in our everyday interactions. And one of these aspects is out of balance. This is where we find illness. Okay, so the intention, first and foremost, in alternative and naturopathic healing is to try and be balanced, right? Internally balanced. And naturally, when things get out of balance, we try to bring it back to balance. Okay, so these affect all three faculties, okay, in Unani healing, known as the Tayyibat, okay, and the vital, right, Hayawaniyat, okay, and the mental, Nafasniyat, okay, and we'll get into some of these terms and concepts later on, right? And what are the core aspects of a healing modality that always works is Hijama, and otherwise known as cupping. And so what sets this protocol off from others, that it's actually a physical body manipulation like massage and like other things, but this is done either with cups, pulling up that excess heat out of the back. But originally the cupping or slight vivisection was done, scraped with blades to release that excess heat out of the body. Okay, so this is a non-ingestive or non-ingestion form of healing. Okay, a non-ingestion form of healing, like with our herbs and our foods, that's all going inward. But with the cupping, it's external, right? And we're using external manipulation to bring about a result. Okay, so this actually removes excess heat, excess iron, right, in the blood, toxins and inflammations, particularly heat inflammation, very rarely cold inflammation, right? And this allows pain to dissipate quicker out of the body. So especially if somebody's dealing with some chronic pain, some fatigue, some swelling, cupping actually helps remove those or move them along much quicker and much, much faster, in conjunction with all of the healthy things that you're eating, right? So it's a supplementary practice, right? Not a standalone practice, okay? So where is this usually done? It's usually done on the back. It can be done on the nape of the neck, right? Between the shoulders, between the inner thighs, right? Between the hips, and right? Even some parts of the legs. Okay, so hijama or cupping has a very, very long-standing history in the Middle East, in Asia, and even in Greek, some Asiatic circles. Okay. And what they all knew is that stagnant blood flow and blockages cause illness, right? Stagnant blood flow and blockages result in long-standing illnesses. So that's one of many, many types of practices, outer practices that were done as an ancient healing technique. And then that brings us now to the concept of the Neuma, or the flowing spirit, right? So in Unani, it's that vital air and proper flow that is present in all things. So when we understand this property, this activates all areas of growth, adaptation, and nutrition for the person. Okay, the quality of the soil of our food is going to affect the food that eats us. So this Neuma, this flowing spirit, is ever present, and we're trying to put the things that have the highest level of that life force inside of us. Right? The foods that we eat have life force. Okay, so that's and how this gets affected most. That's that energy activation through the liver. Okay, so this process takes into account the connection of all of our elements, right? All earth energy, right? All soil energy, and the body and the life force is all connected. So see how we move from cupping, right, to now back to the flowing spirit. And then one other factor we want to talk about are our spice factors. We've talked about food many times, and we will talk about food again and nutrition in the future, but particularly we're talking about spices here. So a very, very big critical part of maintaining healthy and being well is the quality and amount of spices that we get in our body. Okay, so it's the use of these spices. Spices activate the bioavailability of nutrients and the sparks of healing in our body. We've talked about that spark of life. Okay, so now many spices are, as they said, they've been around for thousands of years, but now they're making a comeback and even being talked about in Western medical circles. Okay, and spices like black peppercorn and turmeric, right? Peppermint, cayenne, right? Cumin, cinnamon, right? Oregano, thyme, rosemary. Okay, peppermint was used to control nausea, standing imbalance, and irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, rosemary and oregano have been used as antibiotics, right? Black peppercorn were used to prevent cancerous tumors from springing up. Okay, so many of us as naturopathic practitioners and healers are putting this in our recommendations with our patients and clients. Okay, so at the end of the day, what is this all about? This is about life force. Right? This is about life force. This is about movement. For all of our cupping, right? For all of our Neuma adjustment, for all of our internalization of the spices, how is our life force moving? And that's really, really what we're talking about. Okay, so again, just to recap, holistic and naturopathic medicine is ancient. It's nothing new about it, right? It's just making a comeback in our lifetime, and it's about balancing those four humors, right? The blood, the phlegm, the yellow bile, and the black bile, they all play a part in our role and in our healing. Okay. The Hijama, cupping, pulling excess heat, excess unpurified blood out of the body. Right? And it's those blocked blood pathways that lead to disease and illness, removing excess iron and sediments and all of those things. Okay? The flowing spirit, vital air, vital life force present in all things, and we try to eat foods that have the high vibration of that vital air and life force. We'll talk about it another time. And then spice factors. Okay? Loading up on the turmerics, on the peppercorns, on the rosemary, on the oregano, on the thyme, right? On the cinnamon, on the peppermint, spearmint, mint, however you see fit. Okay? And at the end of the day, how is our life force moving? We know if we're moving in the right direction and when we're not. Okay? So that's what we're talking about today. Ancient healing in modern times, says Dr. Scott here, Nature's First Path Holistic Medicine. We'll get it together soon. Please don't forget to hit a like. Please don't forget to subscribe. Please don't forget to share and leave a kind comment. All right? Talk to you soon. Peace.